Welcome to Therapy with T. I wanted to just do a really quick one card, pick a card, reading with some confirmation cards, just to have a pick a card for the day. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use the Muse tarot deck to pick 3 cards. You'll pick whichever one you're drawn to the most. You'll find timestamps for that pile's reading in the description. And you can go jump to it and then see what your pick a card means for the day. So sometimes I do this in the mornings before work. I pick a card and I either decide that that's like the meditation for the day, like that whatever that card represents or the energy around it might be what I can focus on for the day, or just to kind of help give my mind a direction on what I can focus on for that day. Okay, so we're gonna pick 3 cards for 3 piles. I'm feeling those 3, perfect. All right, what do we have? So for pile 1, we have the 4 of Pentacles, which is 4 of materials in this. This is the Muse tarot. So that will be pile 1. Pile 2 is the Devil card. Don't let the Devil card and like the Death card make you think it's negative, because so many of the cards that when I was younger I thought were like negative cards are actually some of the most positive, beautiful cards of transformation. So not that you should pick the Devil card, I'm just saying don't let that scare you off. And then pile 3 is going to be the Knight of Inspiration, which is the Knight of Wands. So go ahead and take a moment. You can pause if you want to figure out which of these cards you feel the most drawn to, and then I'll meet you at your pile. Welcome pile 1. If you chose pile 1, you picked the 4 of Pentacles or 4 of materials in this deck. So 4 of materials or 4 of Pentacles can be sometimes thought of as when you're holding on to something really tightly. So it could be holding back from something. It could be holding back from giving someone something. It can be holding on to something because you're afraid your needs won't be met, and that you don't have enough resources. So it can be a greed kind of vibe or a lack mentality, but it can also be recognizing that you need that and you're holding on to something, or you're keeping your energy back, or you're protecting yourself from something because you know that's the right thing to do. It can also, Pentacles are a lot about like solid foundations and stability, and can also be like traditional, like the number 4 can be about tradition. So this could be about like really focusing on holding on to traditions in your life and honoring those. It can be, so it could be any of those things. So many different things. So we're going to pick these story cards. I'm going to use these to confirm what this card is supposed to, or not supposed to, but what this card is, what the message is for this card for you, pile 1, for today. I'm going to pick. Oh. One more. I always feel like with this specific deck too, she looks very pleased with herself, very confident, and like she has what she needs, like she has more than what she needs. So let's see what these say. We have Frozen, Healing, Growth, and Serenity. Interesting. So the message that I'm picking up for this is that for pile 1, the message for today that there's been some type of like stagnation in your healing journey. Maybe you've been keeping to yourself and holding on to like your feelings and not wanting to express yourself, or feeling afraid to express yourself because you have some healing work to do. So it feels like there's some frozen stagnation around your healing process and journey, and that you actually really are seeking growth and peace and serenity. And so I think that the guidance here, because again, we're just doing a quick pick a card, because Four of Pentacles in its most natural sense can be like this feeling of need for control and holding on tight to something. So it makes me think that for you to grow and to get to this place of inner peace and serenity, you're going to have to let go a little bit, let go of control a little bit. That strict, like holding on to everything and trying to control things, which we really never have control over anything that we think we do, is actually causing you to stagnate and not be able to heal and move forward. So if you want that growth and that inner peace and serenity, you're going to have to breathe and kind of let go of some of that control and not have such a like lack mindset of like, if I don't hold on to this stuff, if I don't like control this, then everything's going to go poorly. Like being too attached to something, not realizing that sometimes our attachment to something is blocking us from something better. So that's what I'm feeling for that. I want to pick, let's do one. We're going to do a Louise Hay Power Thought card. I think that'll be a nice positive ending. So what message do you have for pile one about this stagnation and kind of holding on to control? What can they do to, hopefully this resonates with you and you know what you kind of need to do, or you have a sense of what will be helpful in letting go of this control. I think the word surrender comes up a lot. Surrender doesn't mean defeat or giving up. Always it means letting life kind of, knowing that you can't control everything and letting life kind of work around you. This is interesting. This says my income is constantly increasing. With the Pentacles, because it's often about stability and money financially, there could be some of this frozen healing. There's some issues around money or feeling like this lack of like your resources aren't met, like you don't have what you need. Maybe you would like to be getting help for something and you don't have the money for it, and you want that growth, but you don't feel like you can like pay for what you need. This says, I begin now today to open myself to ever increasing prosperity. So that's a really good mantra, just to be like, I surrender. I am open to ever increasing prosperity, however that looks and however that comes into my life. So if you've been kind of stuck and feeling like you'd like this growth, but you're kind of stuck and frozen, or there's some, maybe you have some trauma issues around money, begin today to say, I open myself to ever increasing prosperity. And also, like, that's that I'm open and I surrender to what's best for me and moving forward. So hopefully that was helpful. That's what this Four of Pentacles message is for you today, pile one. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see you in another reading. Bye. Welcome, pile two. If you chose pile two, you chose the Devil card, which is number 15 in the Major Arcana. And this is your reading. And I'm glad you weren't frightened off by the Devil card, because a lot of these cards that people perceive as being negative are actually really great transformational cards. Like the Devil can oftentimes be discussing like this mindset where you think you're stuck, but you're actually free. It's just your perspective on it that needs to kind of open up. It can also be fear and addiction. And again, like that restriction. But in the flip side, it's overcoming that addiction. It's overcoming that restriction and that feeling of being stuck or feeling like someone else is like pulling the strings to your life. So let's see what we get with these confirmation. I'm going to use these story cards for some confirmation for pile two on what does this message for today mean about the Devil. So some of you are maybe feeling stuck, growth. This card came up in pile 1. So we've got growth. Yeah, and with this woman in this picture, she's got like these strings to these kind of puppets. You have like this fiery picture, but she's got wings on. So it definitely like supports that idea that like with the devil card, oftentimes it's 2 figures that have like a chain around their neck that are attached to the devil or the floor. And it looks like they're stuck, but they could easily remove those chains from around their neck without any problem. They're very loose, and it's just the illusion of being stuck or being like jailed and not being able to be free. So I'm going to pick 4 cards, and we're going to see what this message is saying for today based on what we get here. So we had growth, such a pretty card. And we've got release. Frozen. Okay, frozen also came up in the first pile. It's interesting too because there's 2 birds in a cage here. And then this figure is releasing a bird balloon here. Interesting. And then you have setting sail with the bird. So, what am I getting from this? Yeah, I mean, the devil card, again, it's about like feeling stuck or restricted, like where you don't realize that you have the power to kind of move on from that. So if this is in relation to an addiction or even like an addiction to a bad relationship, the information here is saying like to grow and to kind of get out of this frozen kind of stuck place. You need to release whatever this is, set sail, move on. Release, set sail. So maybe this is even moving away from someone or something, but it could just be like symbolically setting sail, like letting that go, releasing that. If it's addiction, again, it's talking about release of that. Frozen, butterfly wings. Yeah, you have the power here. I just think like this gray and white with the gray and white butterfly wings with this butterfly is just really interesting to me, these colors with her wings and this wing. So I'm definitely thinking like you're not actually stuck. So whatever today, whatever message where you're just feeling trapped, that you have the ability to let it go and to grow and set sail and release. That's what I'm getting. It's very clear. We're doing a very quick little 1 card reading, so that's what I'm feeling on this one. We are going to pick a Louise Hay Power Thought card for some helpful message. I did kind of want to, I do want to read something really quick. I have this book, and it's a very positive interpretation of all the cards. So I'm just going to, yeah, so this says this, in this book, the devil card is kick negativity to the curb. Instability and power inform the meaning of the devil, exposing relationships to authority and loss. You may be enslaved to a situation or relationship that demands too much, or you may be feeling controlled and under a bad influence. What started positively has reversed, and now you see it for what it is. This card often describes situations that aren't worth trying to fix. If it's a card of greed, temptation, and materialism, then you can walk away. This message is to simply walk away, regardless of the temptation to stay. Yet, to change the situation, you will need to use a little devilish cunning. So again, I feel like that's very much confirming this kind of walk away, release, let go. So what kind of power thought do we have for pile 2 around this? And this is just a card for the day, remember. I do feel this card. That's interesting. I'm going to read it, but I'm going to pick 2 because I did feel like 2 were trying to come out. It says, I now create a wonderful new job. Okay, so for those of you that this is relating to maybe a toxic work environment or a job that's literally sucking the soul out of you and you feel incredibly miserable, I am totally open and receptive to a wonderful new position, using my creative talents and abilities, working for and with people I love in a wonderful location and earning good money. Awesome. That's a nice, powerful thought card. And then for those of you where this is not about like a work kind of money situation or project situation, it's maybe more about personal development, spiritual development, or a relationship. This one came flying out over here. I am safe in the universe and all life loves and supports me. I breathe in the fullness and richness of life. I observe with joy as life abundantly supports me and supplies me with more good than I can imagine. Yeah, so coming from a place of knowing you're loved and you're safe and you're supported, and that's a great place to come from when you're feeling scared to leave something. You are safe, you are loved, you are supported. All right, awesome. That's your message for today, pile 2. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you come back and watch another one of my readings. But either way, thanks for coming today. Bye. Welcome, pile 3. If you chose pile 3's card, it's Knight of Inspiration, which is Knight of Wands. And we're just doing a quick, like, pick a card for the day. So Knight of Inspiration, which is the Knight of Wands, is one of the faster knights. The knights are often about travel and movement and sometimes like offering something. So with the Knight of Wands, this is like new inspiration, new passion, courage, adventure. So very exciting celebration. Like with this, I always think of this specific deck with this card with these fireworks, like just something really exciting and like adventurous, or like a new idea is like happening. So let's see what it wants us to focus on for today by using these story cards to get some confirmation. Oh, I'm going to take the one that flipped over first. Show you in a second. We're going to pick 4 of these. The Knight of Wands can also be a person, an honest, courageous person. It's someone who moves towards their goals in life. They can be concerned with spiritual matters, so it doesn't have to be like goals in life as far as a job. It could be spiritual development. Oops. Well, that's 3 more cards, so we'll take that. So let's see what we have here. We have Explorer, which is the one that popped up, which makes sense to me when we're talking about like adventures and travels and new ideas and inspiration. You have Explorer. I think that's a compass, that the figure is holding a compass. Red shoes, flowers, butterfly wings. And then you have Mystic, which always reminds me of the Magician card, which to me is like you have all the tools you need for whatever next adventure you want to go on. It's very cool. And you have Work. Interesting. Maybe you're like ready to figure out what your purpose is, or you figured out your purpose and you're ready to make the jump to that. And then you have Home. Interesting. Home and Work. Mystic, Explorer. So I'm definitely getting a sense of like trying to balance between home life, work life, and like wanting adventure and mysticism or like magic in your life. Interesting. Since the Knight of Wands can be really about traveling, I'm wondering if you're going to travel for work, you're moving for work, so your home is going to change for work, something like that, or you're thinking about that. So today is about like this excitement of moving forward or moving towards something that's going to bring a lot of magic or mystic like magic to you. That's going to be a new adventure to explore. We're going to pick one of these Louise Hayes Power Thought cards to just get some good vibe, energy, and hopefully it will also help kind of tie everything together. But hopefully what I'm saying is resonating with you and this makes sense. But I'm definitely seeing some kind of travel or move or change. Pretty exciting. Okay, 2 fell out on the floor, so we'll just take them both. It says, I love life. It is my birthright to live fully and freely. I give to life exactly what I want life to give to me. I am glad to be alive. I love life. So this makes me think, yeah, like there's some new adventure that, or an opportunity is going to be given to you, or you're going to take, that's going to take you away from home or change your work situation. But that you'll love it. It sounds pretty awesome. It'll help you live more fully and freely. And then you have, the point of power is always in the present moment. The past is over and done and has no power over me. I can begin to be free in this moment. Today's thoughts create my future. I am in charge. I now take my own power back. I am safe and I am free. So definitely that freedom feeling and loving life. So maybe you've been stuck with this homework balance thing and you really just want to adventure and travel, but definitely getting the vibe of like some new exciting movement, change, travel, where you're really going to love it. It's going to be super exciting and new, which can be scary, but just stay in the moment, take one step at a time, feel safe, and just be okay being free. That's what I'm definitely getting from that. I hope that resonates. That was the reading, pile 3, and hopefully you enjoyed it and you'll come back for another reading sometime. But either way, thanks for spending time with me today. I appreciate it. Have a good week. Bye.